Men's hats should never be put down on their brim. They should only be put down on their top because it's easier to fix the top than it is the brim.
I thought it was because good luck fell out.
No.
Oh.
No, if you look
So
at
we can pass the hat.
You can pass the hat. And people can go by your desk and throw stuff in there.
Let's see here. Oh. All that for not. Are we,
We're ready to go.
and we've got a quorum.
Sarah will not be here today,
Okay.
I think. I haven't heard from Michael.
Yeah, indeed. At least not about this meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'd like to call this meeting of the Grand Marais Public Library Board of Trustees to order on June 23rd at 5:01 p.m. First thing is roll call and introductions. Commissioner Dave Mills, current board president.
Kevin LeVore, I'm the vice president.
Sue McClone, trustee.
And Olympia, trustee.
We have Kristen Wazeski, the assistant director of the library, and I am Amanda St. John, the library director.
We have Jan Smith there with us.
And Janice Smith, President, Library Friends.
Welcome. Thank you. All right, that moves us on to our consent agenda, which includes the agenda and then the minutes from our last meeting as well as the bills. Anything anyone wants to pull? Else I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
I do want to make a couple of adjustments.
Oh, please.
Could we please add Friends Liaison Jan Smith to the agenda, first thing?
Thank you.
And ALS Liaison Helen Muth thought she might be of better assistance when we're talking about the ALS budget increase. So she doesn't necessarily have a report. We can take her off and then she'll just be available if we have questions later. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Well, then entertain a motion with that amended agenda.
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Oh,
You can have
oh,
it.
not everyone at once.
No.
Very good. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And Jan, come on up.
Okay. Well, thank you for giving me just a few minutes of your time. I'd like to update you on what the Friends have been doing. If you have been to Odds and Ends lately, you'll see their used book room. We have put that together and keep it stocked in books. And we are now starting to collect books for the Fisherman's Picnic book sale. We will be having that in Odds and Ends. We will be setting up a couple tables. They're going to move some of their furniture out of the way. And we'll have the whole book room stocked and several tables. Friday and Saturday, a Fisherman's Picnic. We're still talking about giving members, if you sign up for a membership, giving you a discount when you check out. So we haven't totally decided on that, but we're excited just to have a Fisherman's Picnic book sale again. So if you have books you've been holding on to or know friends and family, pass the word. You can drop off books any day at Odds and Ends, especially if you go to the back door. There's always one of the volunteers in there working and they'll put it back in our storage room. And we've been going through them and kind of selecting some of the better books and hiding them under the tables for the book sale. And so we're excited about that. And let's see, we have the pickup truck opera. That's all set up, I think, at the library for the reading program, the summer reading program. We're also going to invite the kids from the Birch Grove summer program, Grand Portage, and the YMCA. So, and it's open to the public. So if you have little grandkids or kids running around, they're welcome to attend. It'll be outside on the lawn. They're doing adaptation of the Magic Flute. It'll be about a 30-minute program, and they will encourage participation from the audience. And afterwards, there'll be some games, I understand, or sing along or something. We're not quite sure what they're going to do. But, we're kind of excited about that. We're going to show up like little kids and watch. But that's about what we're doing now. We have a good solid board. We just picked up Carl Solander. But we are looking for someone from the West End. And Roger and Carl would really like to see another guy on the board. But if you know someone down in the West End, we'd love to hear from them.
Great.
And any questions? No.
Well, my 2 cents is with the book sale, I've never been dissuaded by the price, but I know that people are always looking to get in early, so if members had an early thing, then that's...
Yeah, we talked about that, but it was kind of like it'd be easier to give a
Yeah.
discount.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't be there Thursday night without involving the volunteers from odds and ends.
Yeah.
And so we decided to stick just strictly to Friday and Saturday, 10 to 4. And,
That'll be awesome.
oh, I think so. Every time I run into someone and they find out I'm with the library friends, oh, we missed the book sale.
Mhm.
So, and, we'll get the word out through posters, WTIP with CJ here soon, and word of mouth, maybe a press release or something too.
Sure.
Yeah,
Great.
okay?
Well, and maybe we can do a little advertising on the library's website or Facebook or something.
I believe Stacy's working on a poster right now, some kind of, so we can print off and slap all over town.
Send digital too, so I can get it on the web.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
All right.
okay.
Did I understand that, that the Friends have a relationship with Odds and Ends, so some of the books that are sold there, some of it goes to you and some of it goes to Odds and Ends?
Not right now, only during the book sale.
Okay,
Our involvement right now is we're treated as regular volunteers.
okay,
So we sign in and everything. At the end of the year,
okay,
there will be a payout to the friends.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of a nice donation.
it is,
Several of us over at First and Second also do that. And so we kind of plan on upping our grant amounts this next year. We've kind of held steady at $1,000 to each library. And hopefully we can up that.
wonderful.
Yeah. So it's kind of exciting.
Very.
Yeah. We're kind of getting back to where we were, more or less. Yeah.
Step by step.
So that's it.
Thank you for coming so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're gonna come back next month.
Yes, I'll come back next month.
Perfect.
and give final details and everything like that, and
Well, as long as I've been on the library board, I don't think we've had a representative from the Friends. So I just really appreciate you coming and bringing up this.
well, it kind of took us a while, almost a year, to get back into, a full board and
Yeah.
everything with, after 2018, most of the board members, their term was up, or they resigned for reasons, and there were just kind of two of us left.
Oh,
So I've kind of built it up over the last couple years, and we have a really good, dedicated board.
It's a renaissance.
Yeah. So, we're up and running good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
All right, and then that brings us down to the library director's report. Amanda.
Yay. So, in terms of facility things, I've got a pretty solid timeline mapped out for getting the flood restoration work done. The way that it will roll out is first I'm gonna have AMAX Plumbing and Heating, hopefully, will come in and remove our heating and cooling units before mid-August. August 23, 4, and 5, the library will be closed, assuming that Northern States Basement Systems is on their timeline, so that we can have the internal work on the library done along the back wall. I'm intending to do pickup window service ahead and behind that to give us some flexibility in case the contractors need an extra day, and also because we have furniture to move. From there, we need to have the walls repaired, and then we need to have the heating put back on. It'd be awesome if that happens, by mid-September. And then I'm gonna be working with the carpeting and cabinetry folks to ask about the desk. The air source heat pump, so again, the crossover of the project here is that we have to remove cooling units from the back of the library in order for excavation to happen outside the library, and that will happen the last week of September going into the first week of October, and I think we can be open during that time. But until all of that work outside is done, we can't install a cooling unit back there. But it's good that we're moving forward with putting the newer unit there once we do, instead of doing the work twice. So that is what that looks like. Any questions about flood stuff?
Are you comfortable with that timeline?
I feel pretty confident with Northern States Basement Systems. And then I'm just hoping everybody else comes in the right order.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it feels good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once you get into October, I get scared.
Yeah.
That's when winter is coming, right?
Yes.
But I really appreciate your work on this and lining it up.
Thank you. We are saying goodbye to an 8-year employee soon. Melissa Wickwire is taking a full-time position with Cook County Public Health as their executive administrative assistant. She currently has a last day of August 31st, so we're doing our best to transfer knowledge from her to other staff, and then we'll be looking at opening that position. I had a second resignation the same week. Tom Knutson will be leaving. And he is doing multiple things around the area, and we're wishing him well on his transition. His last day will be next Wednesday.
So we're hiring.
We are. Yes.
It's an elite club. That was a joke. Everybody's hired.
So, and what was Tom's position?
Tom was a library clerk this time, but he's been with the library a couple of times and has worn many hats, from cataloger to library technician or like tech support. With the resignations and trying to cross-train and trying to staff and figuring out how long we will be in the hiring process, I am concerned about being able to meet my commitment for strategic planning. And so I'm wondering where that lines up in your priorities too.
I'm still, speaking for myself, I'm still very happy with the past strategic plan, continuing the programs and the programming that's happening, and trying to, get out in the community more to different areas, whether it be Grand Portage or Hoveland or in the West End, and just knowing the state of the world and everyone's burdens with everything we've been going through. I don't want to push you at all in that way, especially considering the flooding as well. It's just I think you're doing great, and we just need to get everything put together again. But that's just me.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Put it on the back burner and take care of the immediate fires.
Okay,
So moved.
thank
Is
you.
there support?
Third, second.
Any further discussion? And that being said, there is still, the program that is happening is still so good,
Mhm.
and so just carrying that on and continuing that, I think is wonderful. So,
Awesome, thank you for that.
well, we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Yeah,
Hi.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
great, thank you.
Back burner.
Love it. We did have, Out Front Minnesota gave a great presentation in alignment with Pride. Tomorrow at 10:30, if anybody's available, a Futai Haitian dance group is going to be at Cook County Higher Ed with us. And we have our summer reading program, which launched. It goes June 11 to August 11th, again with that pickup opera being the finale. So I think those are the highlights from my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Amanda? Comments for that matter? Then we can move on to the communications. We have the fund statement. Any questions there or thoughts? Then we move on to new business, the ALS budget increase request. And Helen, do you want to take a front seat here too?
Okay, thank you very much.
And feel free to kick it off.
Well, I just really wanted to know if you had any questions about ALS's request to up the amount assessed of Cook County. And I'm on the budget committee, and I do know what their situation is. I don't have all the smarts.
All the what?
I don't have all the smarts. I
Oh.
couldn't pull out every detail that
Sure.
had it, but insofar as it being at least 2 years that they've had a deficit budget, and I don't think that what we would be coughing up here at Cook County is going to make that big of a dent, but I think the fact that they wish to have across the county assessment. And I thought it was interesting and a bit of information that Amanda received, and I suppose I got a duplicate of it because I don't think we talked about it today, but Carleton County, they had planned to increase their a request from Carleton County to 3%, and Carleton County has 3 libraries. And so they use more, and they have more, I mean, it's a bigger county, and I mean, the whole thing is, I don't know that it's really bigger, but in other words, the resources that they need and use. So they had given 2% last year, 2% extra, and I thought that was interesting that they now are only asking for a 1%. So apparently the 2% that we are being asked has not anything to do with the amount of money they'll be getting from, but I think it sounds to me like they're individualizing. I mean, would you interpret it that way, that they're individualizing the requests from the counties, but they're doing it across all counties? And I don't know whether we were easier and we got it first, or because they're aware that we have to do it earlier because we are a 3-way business here between the county, the board, and the city, and that might be aspect of it. So that's probably the limit of an introduction I can give you.
Thank you. And yeah, it is disappointing that the legislature didn't give it an increase, but you know, that's how that is, and I don't think this is unreasonable, and I think it's very important to support ALS. So it's good to get that background about Carleton County too, but and you know, we have this nice table to show us what impact that really has. And
Do you have another of those?
oh, you can, you know,
Can I have one?
She didn't have this thing figured out.
so it goes from 28,780 was before this notification of the 2% request to 29,356. So it's pretty reasonable.
Seems pretty minor.
Yeah.
I felt like, really, that's all?
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't ruffle my feathers.
No.
Well, I was afraid that it was coming to you after everything had been to, you know, like you were
Oh.
meeting at this Wednesday at, you know, which would have, with the city.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
no,
referring
next
to, is that
Wednesday,
that you might have been just kind of blocked out of it. But that sounds very good to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you bringing the information forward and giving that background. Does anyone else have any concerns or questions, or does ALS feel, what is the mood there, or what's
Yeah,
what's the
the-
tone? How do they feel?
yeah.
They feel like on edge, or
Feeling about that, because that seems minor.
Well, I don't think they are feeling upset, and it's just that everybody is disappointed because of the but that's across the state.
yeah.
I mean, that's not just for ALS. I mean, that's extremely disappointing, especially since there was, what do you call it? They had
Surplus?
thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
thank you. Having, and I know there are needs, and they're broad needs. I think that it's good that there is a general supporting for the broadband, because I think that really does help. It helps the libraries, but it helps the economy, and I think that I can see how that would be an easier thing to pass. But it shouldn't be, because the library resources also are economic as well as, I mean, most people think about reading David Sedaris, you know, or something like that, which is great, but that isn't what the library is. That doesn't identify the library. Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we need to take action here to include this request into our budget that we'll bring to the city council. You look confused, sir.
No, I'm
Oh,
considering.
You're processing? Okay.
Yes. That's the processing phase. Soon.
Well,
What's your opinion, Kevin?
I'm gonna make a motion to include the increase for ALS and the budget that we present next week.
thank you, Kevin. Is there support?
Second that.
Thank you, Councilor Gary. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
I thank you very, very much. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that will put a positive note in encouraging others.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's very, very, very good. Maybe that's why he met you and met you, and so he knew you guys were
Clear, easy.
you were supporters. I appreciate this, I really do.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okey dokey, and, yeah, I'll be happy to represent, with Councilor Gary at the June 29th meeting, and Amanda as well. If anyone else wants to attend, you're welcome to, it's not necessary. But,
Thank you, Helen.
I
Bye-bye.
know, thank you.
Bye-bye, and thank you.
And that, I'll leave it there. Starts at, what, 6 PM? 6:30? 6:30. And then that is pretty much it. And sorry I didn't include this on our amended agenda, but just one thing I wanted to bring up is I've been in this racial equity work group that was formed as a subset of the joint powers group. It's the hospital board, the county board, the city council, who else? School district, and there is a concerted effort, I would say, led by the school district, but the county's involved as well, into getting more education and just discussion about diversity. And I think the library does a great job with highlighted books and features and on the website, but they're looking for the library's support or participation if they develop kind of a more comprehensive program or schedule or something to try to foster this discussion. So I just wanted to talk with you all about that. Assumed it would be all systems go, but just wanted to put it on the radar, and if anyone has any concerns about that, bring them
So
up.
essentially just coordinating with them. or
Pretty
being
much,
a
yeah,
conduit.
participating. There's gonna be outreach for Drury Lane as well, higher ed, I presume WTIP, and just trying to get it more, because there is a lot going on in the community, and I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But the intention with the group is to get it more cohesive, I think. And I'm not against it, I just don't know how much effort, considering all the efforts that are already happening, I don't know. What's the word, the value of that cohesion. Bringing everyone together could be great.
Dave, I'm really interested in the group. I'm surprised because Cook County Higher Ed has been forming an racial equity group
For
for
nonprofits.
allowing nonprofits to communicate with each other better about our efforts, coordinate our efforts, and just our opportunities to help each other advance our work. I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't any crossover between the two groups, or that I haven't heard about that in the other equity group. And
Kelsey's there in the
Yeah?
groups, and kind of, I think higher ed is facilitating the
Yeah,
the
it sounds
Zoom
like their
call.
work.
Yeah.
And Kelsey's not in the equity group.
Oh, okay.
She's not leading the group that I'm a part of.
Oh,
Lena
okay.
is.
Yeah.
Can I
I'm
get
sorry,
a
who?
Lena?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Carly was,
Okay.
but she's transitioned to another job. Can I get an invite?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
yep. And my participation was greater earlier on, but I still try to make them but I'll certainly get you on that,
Sweet.
in that list, and there's even a Google shared drive.
Oh,
and-
yeah. We have one too.
Good. Well, excellent, and, of course, any and all would be invited into that group too. But I think just knowing everyone's involvement throughout the county, just that there's gonna be plenty of opportunities to be involved as coordination, develops, so. Okay, well, that was the only additional thing on my end. Anybody else have anything?
Not trying to open any can of worms here, but just wondering. 2 weekends ago, our church had their state conference meeting, and we passed a resolution supporting teachers, school boards, and libraries because there is a movement across the nation to ban books, to take certain items out of the libraries and out of the public view. And just was wondering if, over the past few months, have you had those kind of requests or groups that are saying this is harming our kids and needs to come out?
We have not.
Okay.
We do have a formal process in case someone does challenge a material. Library staff would be first to review the request and make determinations, and then the next layer would be to involve the board in that conversation. But we haven't. And one of the things that another staff person says about our community is that we are so, I don't know if progressive is the right word, but this entire community is so on board with being welcoming and tolerant and inviting that they're pretty excited about our collection being diverse. But I will be in touch with you if that comes around. Yeah, if anything, if you remember our conversation from last year about
Yeah.
self-published materials and sort of the broad scope of what is published and available, whether we want to rein in or clarify what it is that we're collecting to support diversity initiatives and things like that, that's kind of where we're going.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, you know. Anybody else, anything? Entertain a motion. Well, should note our next meeting is Thursday, July 28th. Entertain a motion to adjourn here.
So moved.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there support?
Second.
Thank you, Sue. Motion is support. Any further discussion? Or, no, sorry. We are adjourned. Get into the habit. Oh, now I get to go back to the Board of Appeals.
Yeah?